for the immutable history, and I shall either stand, I don't know that word, by my courtmen, or soon be exchanged for inflammable history, and I shall either inaugurate by my courtmen class of those who have promised that they might be deceived and flattened with the intention to betray, however strong may be presented by those who realize the explanations of I don't know that word, covenant people. I do understand the dangers and temptations to which I shall be exposed from the magnitude of power in which has been my pleasure of the people to commit my hands and did not place mischief upon the aid of the almighty power which has protected me and enabled me to bring forth flavorful issues of other important but still greater inferior trusts here to confined to me by my country, the broad foundation of which the Constitution rests, being the people a breath of theirs made a breath can make change and modify, it can be assembled to none of the great divisions of the government, but of the democracy, if which its theory, those who are called upon to, I don't know the word, must recognize as a leading principle the duty in shaping of its measures so as to produce the greatest good to the greatest number, but to those abroad administrations, if we would compare the Soviet and acknowledged to exist in the mass of our people with the power claimed by other Soviets, by those which they considered purely democrat, we shall find in most essential differences. All others lay claim to the power limited by their own will. The majority of our citizens, on the contrary, possess a settlement of power equal to that has been granted by the parties to the national compact and nothing beyond. We admit no government by divine right, believing that so far as the power is concerned by the beneficial creator who has no distance among men that are barred upon an equality that only legitimate right to the government grant of power from the governed. The Constitution of the United States is instrument containing the grant of the power to the several departments composing the government on an explanation of the instrument. It will be funded to declare of power, and the power without this is a lot of reading. I don't know what I signed up for. The latter is also susceptible of division into the power which the majority had the right to Christians, and that they could not have granted not being possessed by themselves. In other words, there are certain rights possessed by each individual American citizen, and which is compact, and others has never surrendered. Some of them American citizens which have come past, the others have never surrendered. Some of them, indeed, he is unable to surrender, being in the language of our system, an alien that boasts privilege of the Roman citizens have him shield only against a pretty pro-fickle ruler, while the proud Democrat and ends. Oh my god, I literally can't read any more of this. I already have 10 minutes. I can't read any more of this. I mean, maybe on a rainy day, I'll read the whole thing. But this is a lot of reading. That is so much. My eyes are like going in and out of like all the. I don't even understand what the hell I'm reading. First off, it's just, it feels like a whole mumble jumble, and I can't. I mean, you got the best of me with that one whole page. Whoever wanted that, that's crazy. This one guy had messaged me and he was like, yeah, can you read that for me? And I'm like, well, damn, I'll try. It's the first that anyone has ever asked me to read that, but damn, that's like 10 whole minutes, like that one whole page. Just the beginning of it. I am not a good reader. I feel like I suck. Alright, peace.